father of the final prophet, died before his son was even born.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Umar, and today we will witness how the life of an orphan began, who would change the history of mankind.
But to truly understand this story, we must go back a few months in time.
My brothers and sisters, this is the second episode of the Seerah. If you haven't watched the first part about the year of the elephant, be sure to watch it as our journey continues.
In Mecca lived a young man named Abdullah. He was the son of the leader of the Quraysh, Abdul Muttalib. He was noble, handsome, and beloved by the people of Mecca. Abdullah married Amina, a woman of noble lineage. It was a joyous union of two noble hearts. The entire city rejoiced for them. But soon, Abdullah had to depart on a trade journey north, towards Ash-Sham. Before leaving, he promised his pregnant wife that he would return for the birth of their child. Little did anyone know that this farewell would be their last. Months later, the caravan returned to Mecca. People rushed out to meet their loved ones. Amina was waiting too. But Abdullah was not among them. His companions brought terrible news. On the journey back, he fell severely ill and had to stay in the city of Yathrib. There, at the young age of 25, Abdullah Ta'ala departed from this world. And so even before his first breath, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, became an orphan.
But Allah had already prepared an astonishing destiny for this child. Shortly after Abdullah's passing, Amina's home was once again filled with light. A boy was born.
The people of Mecca had an ancient custom, sending their newborns to desert wet nurses to be raised. But that year was devastating. The land was cracked from a severe drought. Wet nurses from Banu Sa'ad arrived in Mecca that year. Among them was Halimah. She was riding the weakest, most exhausted donkey. She had almost no milk left.
The women went from house to house looking for wealthy families. They were offered the newborn Muhammad, peace be upon him. But upon learning he was an orphan, they all turned away, expecting a generous reward from wealthy fathers. By evening, all the wet nurses had found children, all except Halimah. She approached her husband.
والله إني لأستحي أن أرجع خالية اليدين. سأذهب وأخذ ذلك اليتيم.
خذيه. عسى الله أن يجعل لنا فيه بركة.
And the moment Halimah returned and held this boy to her chest, Allah began to bless them. Immediately Allah blessed her with abundant milk. Both the boy and her own son drank to their fill and fell asleep. On the journey back into the desert, their old, exhausted donkey suddenly gained such incredible strength that it outpaced the entire caravan.
يا حليمة أهذه حقا أتانك؟
When they returned home, Allah granted them such barakah as the desert had not seen in a long time. Their flocks returned full and brimming with milk, while the sheep of others were dying of hunger. But a few years later, an event would occur in this very desert that would terrify even Halimah herself. Little Muhammad's love grew strong and healthy, far from the noise of the city, amidst the harsh sands. But one day, while playing far from the tents with his milk brother, the unbelievable happened.
Two men approached the boys, dressed in blindingly white garments. They were angels.
The other children scattered in sheer terror. The angels gently laid the boy on the ground and opened his chest. They took out his heart and washed it in a golden bowl with the water of Zamzam.
Meanwhile, the children ran to Halimah in tears, screaming. Halimah and her husband rushed into the desert, expecting to see the absolute worst. But when they arrived, the boy was standing completely alone. There wasn't a single scratch on his body.
He was only very pale. What did the angels remove from his heart? They removed the trace of shaitan. The heart that was destined to carry the message of Islam to all of humanity had to be absolutely pure. But Halimah was deeply terrified. Out of fear for the life of this remarkable boy, she made a decision.
It was time to return him to his mother in Mecca. And there, the hardest chapter of his childhood would begin. After the miracle with the angels, a frightened Halimah returned the 4-year-old boy to his mother in Mecca.
For the next 2 years, he grew up surrounded by Amina's incredible love. She was both a mother and a father to him. But when the young boy turned 6, his mother made a very important decision. She decided to travel far to Yathrib, the future Medina, to show her son his father's grave.
Together with their loyal servant Ayman, they crossed the harsh desert and spent an entire month in the oasis. It was a rare, joyful time for the boy. But the time came to return to Mecca.
The caravan began its journey back, and halfway there, in a desolate place called Al-Abwa, tragedy struck. Amina suddenly fell severely ill. Her fever grew worse, and the caravan was forced to halt. The 6-year-old boy sat beside his mother in the middle of the endless desert, watching helplessly as she faded away. Amina pulled him close for the last time, and then her eyes closed forever.
The wind blew sand over a fresh grave. At just 6 years old, he had lost the most precious person in his life.
Now he was left absolutely alone, without a father, without a mother, a complete orphan.
The loyal Ayman, in tears, took the lonely boy by the hand and led him back to Mecca.
It seemed as though this child was doomed to eternal sorrow. But Allah had a greater plan.
When little Muhammad returned to Mecca, his grandfather, the leader of the Quraysh, Abdul Muttalib, took him under his care.
The heart of the old leader filled with incredible tenderness. He loved this boy more than his own sons. No one was allowed to sit on Abdul Muttalib's special place near the Kaaba. No one, except this orphan. His grandfather always protected him, saying, "By Allah, a great future awaits this boy." Many wonder, why did Allah decree such a difficult childhood for the best of all people? The answer lies in profound wisdom. The Almighty took his father, so no one could say he inherited power and wealth. He took his mother, so that his heart would not be attached to any creation, except the Creator himself. Allah himself raised his messenger. He himself protected him, and he himself prepared him for his ultimate mission. I am Umar, and this was the second episode of the Seerah, the story of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. If you want to witness the true history of Islam with your own eyes, watch the next episode of the Seerah and subscribe to the channel. And remember, no matter how great the challenge may seem, put your trust in Allah alone. He is the protector. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.